And so we had to like record some like voices for just things, and they're like, "Oh, we should get somebody that has like a, some kind of voice." And then one of the guys was like,
some kind of voice.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back to the Radial podcast. My name's Austin. I'm joined by Devin.
Hello.
And Jeff.
Hey.
Guys, it's late.
Yep.
We're recording late.
Thanks, Devin.
Thanks, Devin, for being sick.
I'm ill.
So
It's like the second time on this podcast.
Yeah, except this time I'm going to try to not cough.
You're just going to blow your nose.
So it's Monday, not Sunday, and it's 8:37 p.m., and I have to be at work in 12 hours. 11
Quit your
hours.
job.
I just got this job.
Well,
Well, now you're a
bad
podcaster.
news.
And that's your job.
You're an influencer.
See, the problem is that
Influencer. F1 influencer.
in order to make a living by being an influencer, people have to give you money.
Oh.
Influencer.
We can't get people to buy our shirts. So I don't know about being an F1 influencer for a living. It's probably not going to happen. I don't think I know enough.
To spread influence?
I don't have any to spread.
I have poorly informed opinions that I can lay down on people.
You sure do.
I'm constantly concerned that my opinion is wrong, so I just don't share them.
You're also
I share
right.
them, and then I admit that I'm wrong later, as you should do.
I'm just never wrong. You guys notice how ugly the McLaren still is? It's actually gotten a little better. I will admit that it's gotten slightly better because they put more sponsorships on
Oh,
it.
yeah, McLaren just got a new, jumping right into things, McLaren has a new, investor's not the right word.
I think it is an investor.
I don't think so.
Money
shareholder.
person giver.
McLaren, the company, has a new shareholder, I want to say.
Who would this be?
I don't know. But
Last name
I don't know
Latifi?
why this is important.
Michael Latifi.
I'm hoping that they put something else on the car.
Is it a publicly traded company?
Yes.
Then I could be a McLaren shareholder in like 10 minutes.
Well, he
Yeah, but they're
owns
not gonna
10% now.
Yeah. Do
Okay.
you?
He invested
I don't have that
$200 million
much
in, and he's
Definitely don't. I have $200.
you might recognize the name Latifi because there's a Formula 2 racer who is his son.
Okay. So Latifi's going to be driving that car next year.
Probably.
That's
I feel bad for my boy Stoffel.
Feel more bad for Lando.
Yeah. This kind of goes back to the whole pay driver thing, which is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
But, let's move on to some other F1 news. So, let's just deal with Pirelli only bringing soft, medium, and hard tires to the races, even though they'll all be different compounds.
So it just, it simplifies things. So every weekend, so this I don't think is confirmed. I think this is just rumor, but...
Yeah, I've seen it in a couple places too.
So, yeah, they're saying next year, every weekend, there will be a soft, a medium, and a hard compound tires, but those names are just relative to each other. Like, the soft tire could actually be a set of hyper softs, whereas the medium is super softs, and the hard is softs. But they're going to be called soft, medium, hard, and colored, I think, red, yellow, white.
Yeah, it's
So... is this to like try to trip up the teams or like
No, I think
No.
it's to make things easier for new viewers.
Yeah. So it's just like, oh, I know. So instead of having to know what like 7 different colors mean,
God damn it.
is this goddamn window open?
No, the window's not open. There's some dickhead who
was
rides
that?
around my fucking neighborhood with one of those like motors that attaches to a bicycle, which I don't know how that shit is road legal, but
Oh,
I've
you
seen
mean
that.
a motorcycle?
No,
Moped?
it's not a moped.
Really?
It is an internal combustion engine that you mount on a bicycle, like a pedal bicycle.
Uh-huh. Like a moped.
That's not a moped,
Motor
Like a
slash
motorcycle.
pedal is what moped is for.
is it?
Yeah,
Because I've never seen a Vespa with pedals on it.
that's a Vespa.
That's a moped. Here he comes. He's coming back.
I hope that picks up
ruining
enough.
the fucking podcast.
I hope that picks up enough that we don't sound super crazy, but also I hope it doesn't pick up that much because it's annoying.
Yeah, he rides by the house all the time, and it's super fucking annoying.
What the fuck were we talking about?
We were talking about tires in F1.
So instead of a new viewer having to know like 7 different colors of tires and what they all mean, they will only have the same 3 colors every weekend.
I feel like it's that complicated, but
I mean, it's a
there
bit...
are too many tire compounds. I can agree with that.
I mean, if you're like a not
if you're a fucking dipshit,
if you're a new viewer and you see, oh, they've got ultra softs and hyper softs. Which one of those is softer?
Hyper soft.
No, Ultra is softer if you don't like. I mean, it's not, but Ultra should be the most of whatever it could be.
What if it was XX Extreme Soft?
Well, then obviously that one.
Yeah.
Or why wouldn't that one also be the hardest?
Because it's got soft on the end.
Yeah.
So yeah, you show up to the weekend and they've got super softs, hyper softs, ultra softs, and you have to stack rank which one of those is the softest. It's like, we could do it, obviously, because we know, but a new viewer is going to be like, what the fuck? Why are these all called soft? Where instead, you just say, this is soft, medium, hard. And that what those compounds are change every weekend. But
then what happens when the commentators and everybody are like, this is actually the hyper soft, but we're just like, it's still...
they're
going to tell us what those compounds actually are. Or like a comparison.
I mean, the compounds change
like,
every year anyway.
This soft is softer than last race's soft. Like,
I mean, we're already getting that this year.
Yeah.
I know. So, like, what's the difference?
I'm just saying.
Except for just not having
that problem,
cool/lame names.
I think it just makes it easier for new people to identify, or new viewers to identify what strategies teams are on.
I don't really care about
pink
that.
And purple and red are all very similar colors and kind of hard to
True.
distinguish.
Yeah, also that.
For who?
Well, the colorblind for one.
Me for another.
And also the Jeffs of the world.
Did you know that in Monaco 2 years ago, all 5 tire compounds were on cars on track at the same time, including the wets and the intermediates?
Oh.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
That's neat.
It was very confusing because I think there was 2 tires of the same color out on track at the same time. Different. Maybe.
It shouldn't be. This year's the first year that there are 2 of the same.
But regardless.
Yeah, this year we've got the super hards and the wets are both blue.
Yeah, super hards never get used. Why did they do that?
I have no fucking clue.
I
can't even remember if that's actually the name of them.
It is Extreme Hard
or Ultra.
So moving on from this tire nonsense, which is just kind of a rumor. Adam Nielsen made me aware of something that's also probably just a rumor and not true because it came from a sketchy website of like F1 wanting all the circuits repaved.
I haven't
sounds
seen
expensive
this anywhere else, but I did spend some time thinking about it.
That sounds expensive.
Stupid expensive.
Yeah, that's kind of what my thought was.
Unless Formula One wants to pay for all of it and then give the tracks the money,
and they're not going to do
lose
that.
From not being able to host other events or like HPDEs and that kind of stuff. Like,
so essentially, what the article boiled down to was Formula One wants to change the surface of the tracks to increase variability or unpredictability in the races.
Throw sprinklers on the track.
There are easier ways to achieve that and significantly cheaper ways to achieve that same thing by just like changing what the tire requirements are for the races or
irrigation system in the infield.
Yeah. Yep. Making
Bernie Eccleston my way through this world.
Yes.
Shake my head.
Make that shit rain. Make it rain.
But yeah, I think we all agree this does not seem true.
Yeah, and it's
so we're probably wrong.
Yeah.
It's not really feasible. Like, the amount of money that it costs to resurface a track is stupid expensive. Mm-hmm. And most tracks don't really make that much money off the Formula One race anyway. Which is why they're constantly, like, having to renegotiate terms. Or, like, oh, there might not be Silverstone next year. Like, you hear that every time Silverstone's contract is up for renewal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the racetracks are not bankrolling. It's really just Formula One. So, Yo, did you guys see those sick lights that were on the back of the Mercedes during
Yeah,
testing in Barcelona?
Those
Those
things
very sharp.
look
They're on the
awesome.
uprights of the rear wing on the back of the car, in addition to the center. What is it? The battery charging light?
Yes, the harvesting.
Yeah, the harvesting light / rain light.
Yeah,
Not necessarily a brake light per se, but
yeah.
Yeah, but those seem good. I would have liked to see them like simulate rain, like they do sometimes, by just like pouring a bunch of goddamn water on the track to see like how well.
You mean with like a sprinkler?
no, like buckets.
Oh,
Yeah,
Throw a bucket at an F1 car going down the street.
Fucking
not
rain!
Not the bucket, just the bucket of water.
I mean, I think they did that recently in like winter testing or something. They just like covered the track in water.
No, it was covered in snow.
also this.
I remember this happening at some point in the
It
recent
snowed
past.
during testing.
Yes, but they put water on the track at some point recently. Anyway, I would have liked to have seen that. I'm curious how much more visible these are.
I don't think that it was not visible before. Like, those lights are really bright.
I think they'll just make cool, angry-looking
Yeah, I think it just looks cool.
silhouettes in the
Yeah.
mist.
I think it just looks cool.
I agree.
Vettel admitted that the new tires that Pirelli brought to Spain were better, despite
makes
the
me
fact
so
that
happy.
Ferrari's pace was off. It puts
Yeah.
the fucking tinfoil hat people in the Defoe seat to rest.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that makes me so happy.
Like he said, quote, Ferrari would have been worse off with the original tires.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like after he did the testing in Spain, he was like, oh, yeah, we were wrong.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I was also wrong. It was not Austria that is the third track. It's France. It's tracks that were resurfaced is why they have this new tire compound.
Yeah. So last Tuesday was it? Renault had given
The-
Red Bull like their engine deadline.
Yeah, May the 15th.
Well, Christian Horner's come out and said that they're not making an engine decision until Canada.
Yeah.
Did Renault also extend their deadline?
I don't know the details of this.
Yeah, initially,
one of you said that
yeah, it
Renault
got
extended
extended to May 31st, and then Red Bull was like, both of you guys are bringing like upgrades for Canada, we expect, so let's see those, and then we'll make our choice. So,
If I was Renault, I'd just say, get fucked. Like, go run that Honda.
I bet you they didn't do that. I have a feeling I'm just going to go with Renault next year because
IG2.
Renault
Yeah.
seems to be rolling over for them.
yeah, they kind of always do,
Yeah.
because that's probably decent money. I don't know how much engines cost, but if you could make that money or not make that money, why not make that money?
Bankrolling.
Because at that point, they're already doing the R&D, so
That is true.
Yeah.
like just making more engines,
That's true.
relatively not that expensive.
Lewis Hamilton and Toto Wolff are both saying that they're worried about their pace and Red Bull Racing's pace for Monaco.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have the longest car, so that's not a good track for that.
yep.
They're going to learn today.
So
They're going to learn next Sunday.
I am of two minds on this. On the one hand, it seems like they could just be like, probably their pace is going to be a bit worse here than other places, but also like I'm never going to trust a team like, oh, I think we're looking slow this weekend. Like,
Yeah.
fuck
also-
off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a fair point.
But I am hopeful for Red Bull to actually be pretty strong this weekend because they have been the last few years. Like Daniel Ricciardo almost won in like 2016
I would like to see Daniel Ricciardo win this race.
Before he got fucked by a bad pit stop.
Yeah. Moving on from F1, there's going to be a race between a DTM and a Super GT car next year.
Yep. It's gonna be.
Do you want to elaborate on this?
Are they both like GT3
I'm just reading
cars
the
or
notes.
what?
They're both like GT3 spec cars. Although I think that some of the specifications are slightly off, but yeah, next year they want to do just like a race that has both of those fields at the same time,
That'll be interesting.
driving against each other.
That'd be neat.
I wonder if that's a way to try to save DTM.
Maybe
Maybe.
because like I think DTM is also just a single class of car, so I think it'll just be the GT300 class of Super GT. Which kind of one of the things that makes Super GT really fun is the multi-class racing. Because it's like, oh, often
Passing is good.
passing's good, and it's like, oh, you have to get through like this slow traffic, And oftentimes, like, there's kind of amateurish drivers in the GT300 cars that might
Ooh.
cause accidents.
Chaos.
What if they just put F1 and F2 together?
Oh, that'd be
Solve the passing problem.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It could be cool.
See, because the difference is, like, sports car racing, you're in, like, this giant steel box with a cage around you.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you just... And it happens a lot in, like, endurance racing where, like, one of the slower cars or one of the faster cars will just smash into the other class, like, especially, like, if it's at night or something like that. Formula One, like, you smash these cars together, somebody's going to get hurt.
They're safe. The Halo.
God damn it.
Did you
All right,
guys
fuck it,
notice
send
that?
it. Let's do it.
You guys notice how somebody
Let's put...
got saved by the Halo a couple weeks ago? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we don't really know for certain whether or not he would
Cars
have
have been
been
on
injured
top of each other
otherwise.
like that before.
But the Halo did get roughed up in
Yeah.
it. But it seems like it's better to have it than not in that scenario.
Agreed. Speaking of Super GT, there's rumors that there might be a Mercedes in the GT500 class next year. Although the rumors also speculate it won't have a Mercedes motor. So I don't know what the fuck.
GTR motor,
Like,
because they're in Japan.
maybe, yeah. I don't know. It's
What car company
2JZ.
does Mercedes own? Is it just Mercedes?
I feel like they are
It's like
pretty
Daimler Benz. What does Daimler own?
not
not.
Chrysler anymore.
Yeah, I think. I don't. I have
think so,
no
at least.
idea.
I don't think they own anything.
Yeah. But I don't know. Maybe
They're fucked.
I don't know if it's going to be like a Works Mercedes team or if they're going to like just buy an engine.
If it's not, if it is a works team, if it's a factory team, it would have a Mercedes engine.
Yeah.
So surely it's just like an AMG GT with like something stupid inside of it.
I kind of
2JZ.
don't.
Yeah, they 2JZ swap it.
I don't really know what
Oh, they own Maybach.
they could throw in there because like the GT300, like some of those cars have LMP1 engines in them, and those are way slower than the GT500s. So like, what the fuck do you slap in a Mercedes to make it that fast? I don't know. I guess they've
LS.
got GTRs and
LS swap the world.
NSXs and Lexus LC500s is what GT500 is right now. But yeah. Speaking of GT500,
Daimler makes a lot of money.
do they?
Yeah.
They got rid of Chrysler.
Yeah, they
That's
make a lot.
Fiat's problem.
Their operating income is 14.6 billion. Their total assets are 255 billion.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Do you know how many Broncos you could buy with that much money?
All of them, actually.
Probably all of them, yeah. Actually, I bet OJ's cost a pretty penny.
That thing came up for sale again recently.
Yeah? How much did it go for?
I don't remember.
Ooh.
I didn't click the article because like I don't care that much. I just
They-
know that it like resurfaced recently.
They own Mitsubishi Fuso Truck and Bus Corporation.
I thought that Renault and Nissan owned Mitsubishi.
This is a different thing.
Which one makes TVs?
The Mitsubishi.
That's Mitsubishi.
Yeah. But this is the same logo, weirdly enough. This is the one that you see like on, like,
TVs.
no, like on box trucks.
I would assume that those companies were the same and tied together.
Yeah. Also, apparently, OJ's Bronco went for $750,000.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
He almost died in it.
He ran from the cops in it.
Very slowly.
But also that one looks like shit because it's all one color. It's not two-tone.
I don't like two-tone.
Yeah, 2 tons.
It's also
low.
not an Eddie Bauer,
Well,
which means it's
I
trash.
don't like Eddie Bauer.
Fuck yourself.
I don't even know who Eddie Bauer is.
He's for adventure. He's for adventuring. He makes adventure clothing.
What
He
the
sounds-
fuck is adventure clothing?
Windbreakers.
Like
Zip-off
windbreakers,
pants.
zip-off pants,
And boonie hats.
like safari jackets?
yes.
Boonie hats.
Eddie Bauer sounds like he sucks.
Hey man, I like adventuring.
I like adventuring.
Eddie Bauer
Arguably
likes
the
adventuring.
most. Awkward pause.
How did we get to this point? Back to Super GT?
Yes.
Slash
So I've been behind
AMG.
on Super GT, but I caught up this weekend And by this weekend, I mean today. I watched like 7 hours of Super GT today.
What's it like to not have a job?
It's bad because I have no income.
But it's good because you can just watch
That's
the
true.
motorsports.
That is true. That was
Until
nice.
they cut it off.
That's also true. So the first race I watched was round 2, which I think was like a month ago at this point, but somehow managed to not get spoiled at all in this race because the only place I see Super GT stuff is on Twitter, and it's normally in Japanese, which I can't read. So hard to get spoiled when you can't read the text. Anyway, so basically just going to talk about the cars I care about. So qualifying, GT500, the Keeper Tom's car, which is the Red Bull car, driven by Nick Cassidy, qualified P9, Jenson Button's NSX, qualified P10, and Jan Mardenborough, qualified P13.
How does that guy still have a seat?
Yan?
Jan? He's the man.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's why he still has a seat. Okay.
He has
Also,
a GTR.
each of...
R33 or 2, maybe.
Do you guys know that Nissan Skyline's a minivan nowadays?
Oh, no.
Or it might be an SUV. I don't remember.
Why do they keep doing this?
Did you know that the Mitsubishi Eclipse is a crossover?
Really?
Yes.
No,
Wow.
it's the Evolution, I think, brand.
What?
No, like Mitsubishi brought the Eclipse back as a crossover. Google that shit.
Jesus.
Google that shit. I'm 100% correct.
Also worth noting, each of these guys...
Words.
So I like these teams. Well, I like the Keeper Toms because it's Red Bull and I'm a Mark. But each of these guys has a teammate. But I'm pretty much, even when they're not driving, I'm probably just going to refer to Nick Cassidy's car as Nick Cassidy. And same for Jenson Button, because I also don't know their teammates' names. They're Japanese and hard to remember their names. Because the whole field is Japanese. So I'm getting hit with like literally 80 Japanese names and then like the half dozen Europeans. So it's hard to remember all of them.
There's no Americans?
No.
Or Canadians?
Nope.
Or Mexicans?
There's a New Zealander. Nick
mean
Cassidy.
You mean an Australian?
Yeah.
It's like kind of the same thing.
Mm-hmm. And then over in GT300, Hatsune Miku qualified P4. So this is kind of the opposite, in which I don't know these drivers' names, but I do know the teams. So Hatsune Miku qualified P4. The D Station Porsche, P9. And the Golf Porsche, I forgot, sucks, so I cared about it at the start of this race, because you want to care about the Golf Porsche.
I mean, it looks good.
It looks good. Qualified P20, and was not relevant ever. So these cars have ballast now, which explains why Nick Cassidy and Jenson Button are so far back, because they both did pretty
Got
well in
weight
the first
added.
race. Yep. So the race starts. This is a pretty long race. It's 110 laps
Yeah, that is a lot.
That's a lot of laps.
at Fuji, which
What prefecture?
it is the Shizuoka prefecture.
Thank you.
But it's nice because you can see Mount Fuji in the background every now and then.
That's dope.
It's snowing
It's
on Mount
awesome.
Fuji.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's like a poem or
Hey, is
something.
Mount Fuji, that's a volcano, right?
Yep.
Yes,
Is it going to erupt?
No.
Maybe.
Or is it dead?
Who knows?
both.
It's inactive, but it could.
What if it erupted during the
Dormant.
race? How sick would that be?
Awful.
Pretty sick. With all
Until
those
people started dying.
Yeah, so I don't have a ton of notes for this race because it was really long and pretty boring. The next round is a lot more interesting. But Hatsune Miku pretty quickly up to P3. My next note is lap 30, just checking in on everybody. Jenson Button, P7. Yan's up to P9, so good work from Yan.
Yan's the man.
Nick Cassidy in P10. Miku's fallen back to P4. And the D-Station Porsches in P21, I don't know what the hell happened to them because they started P9. I think they might have just pitted early and are just like off cycle. And then a GT300 Prius smashed into the back of one of the GT500 NSXs.
I forget that the Priuses are a thing every single time.
Yeah,
and it
it's
makes me.
really weird. They look really cool, and they've got LMP1 engines in them.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, they look awesome. They're hardly recognizable as Priuses.
Okay.
Sorry, Prii.
That's pretty good. Well, they are. They like Squish the back of them down.
Yeah, they're badass. And then the engine's in the back also.
I'm into it.
Yep. But this is really bizarre because the GT300 is way slower than a GT500. So it was really weird for the Prius to smash into the back of this NXX. It's like they should not be getting that close. So that was weird. Spun both of them. So after the first round of pit stops, Jenson Button's up to P7, Cassie's P8, Yan's P10. So kind of all of them pretty middling race. The GT300s all pitted a bit later. I think they're a bit gentler on their tires because they're quite a bit slower.
Yo, these things look sick.
Yeah. And then after the stops, we've got Miku's still in P4, and the D Station Porsche's up to P6. So kind of confirming my probably just pit stops is what got them there. Then one of the GT300s, BRZ, the engine blew up. It was currently in P2, and that dude like pulled off the side of the road and was just like pissed. Like got out of his car, went up to the catch
Shook
finch,
the crap out of
and
that
just like
finch.
shook it. And he was just like furious, like, which I mean makes sense because he was running P2, and then he went out of the race for no fault of his own.
Yeah.
But that promoted Miku up to P3, which was nice. And then Miku took a long time to get their final pit stop in, trying to gain some places with strategy. Came out on P4, so hoping that they'll be on fresher tires, lighter fuel, might be able to make us some places. They did not. In fact, Miku finished the race P5, which was unfortunate.
Bummer.
God damn it.
Yeah, towards the end of the race, they were in P4 and they were fighting the Leon Mercedes, which is basically the exact same car, except less.
No Miku?
Except no Miku, so worse. But the Leon Mercedes got past him. So Miku finishes P5. So results from this race, the red Nissan GTR wins the GT500 class, Yan in P6. So good drive from Yan. Nick Cassidy P7, Jenson Button P9.
How's Mr. Orange Jacket?
Mr. Orange Jacket's great. And he's really excited because the BMW M6 won the GT300 class, and it's orange.
How is Excitable Girl?
I did not see Excitable Girl in this race. I skipped through some of the post-race interviews just to get up to the podium ceremony.
Did you watch any of the podium ceremonies? Did anybody get a bag of rice?
There was no rice. So aside from the M6 that won GT300, P2 was a Prius, and then Miku P5, as I said, and D Station finished P6.
Hell yeah.
So decent results for my guys there. And the special prize this time was a bit of wood.
Wait, what?
Just a weird etched piece of wood that they gave them and then took away before the sparkling sake ceremony.
What? So they gave it to them, but then they took it away.
Then they took it away. I guess
so. Was the prize to get to hold a piece of wood?
I guess it's just so that it didn't get sake all over it.
Was it like a? What kind of wood was it?
It's like, I don't know. Let's
The
say
wood
cherry
kind.
Yeah, it was like wood ass wood. It was like a 6x10,
just a
block of wood.
Sick.
Yeah, it was. But it was etched with GT300 winner, GT500 winner. So that was that race in Fuji. Suzuka, which was round 3, which I think was just this last weekend. So I'm only slightly late on this one. This was a much more interesting race. So coming into this, Jenson Button qualified P2, Nick Cassidy P4, Yan P6, and then over in GT300, Hatsune Miku qualified P3, and the D Station Porsche P7. So again, now that we've had more races, ballast is coming into effect more. So the guy that won the last race, so usually just called the red car, there's the red car and the blue car.
I remember this
Nissan
from previous
GTRs. Yeah.
conversations.
So Yan is driving the blue car, and the red car is starting this race with 52 kilograms worth of ballast and starting dead last. 52 kilograms, you might be wondering, what is that in America?
I was about to do that.
It's 115 pounds.
Not
So that's like a small person.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Or a large dog.
yeah. And the people that qualified P1 here has only 6 kilograms of ballast. Jensen's got 34 kilograms, and so forth. I'm not going to list all these.
Hey, would you just convert those to like American before we go over this next time?
I did the heaviest one.
They're all less than 115 pounds.
Yep.
Thanks, Jeff.
You're welcome.
So this race started, and Nick Cassidy immediately gets up into P3, and then is all over Jensen Button. And they're just kind of going at it for a good bit of the start of this race, and it's really exciting. Hatsune Miku really quickly gets up to P2, and that's great. And also Yan picks up a place. So good
Just
stuff all around. And yeah, just one.
Okay.
And then by lap 3, D-Stations picked up 2 places and got up to P5. Button starts to pull away from Cassidy, but by lap 11, they've caught back up to each other, and the battle's back on. Lap 14, a safety car comes out as one of the GT500 Lexuses just somehow... Yeah, sorry. Lexi. Just spins. And, like... It seemed like it took a while for them to actually show the replay of what happened, and the commentators were really confused because this car didn't seem to have any damage, but the dude was just like got out of the car. But yeah, he just like spun and went off, and I guess something broke. But
a suspension part probably broke.
Suspension or transmission or rear end.
Yeah.
But this brought out the safety car, which lasted kind of a while. Under the safety car, the GT300 car that has the Speed Racer Mach 5 livery,
Hell yeah,
pulled off on the side of the road.
Oh.
And that was a bummer because I don't think that car is good, but it looks good because
that is a good livery.
It's a GT86 that is mocked up like the Mach 5.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
That's pretty good.
And after the safety car comes in, Nick Cassidy very quickly takes P2 from Jensen Button. Button looked like he was kind of sleeping. And the leader who started the race back up seemed like he waited for Jensen to be like swerving and offline before he went. So kind of the same bullshit you see in F1 of the leader like waiting until...
It's weird. It's almost like it's a viable strategy.
Yeah, it's almost like it's a strategy throughout motorsports.
So Jensen was kind of
better
disadvantaged.
run into somebody for it.
By Jensen was disadvantaged by that and offline, and that let Nick Cassidy get by him pretty quick. Some early pit stops promote Yan up to P3, which was nice, although unfortunately not to last because he eventually will have to pit stop as well. And then lap 24, GT500 NSX goes into the wall, and it's like, oh shit, there's going to be another safety car, which safety car is kind of rare in Super GT.
Apparently not.
But the race leaders of of GT500 all kind of come into the pits anticipating a safety car, but it doesn't come, which this looked like it needed a safety car much more than the previous safety car, but they just didn't, which was weird.
Japan.
Yep. And then after this round of pit stops, Buttons in P2, Cassidy P3, Yan P5. Although actually none of those drivers were in the cars at that moment. They'd already all switched. The GT300s didn't pit. I don't know why. Just trying to stay out later, I guess. Miku eventually takes the lead because people ahead of her have pitted. Also, this is something I keep doing, and the commentators do it as well, referring to that car as a she or a her at all times, even though both drivers are dudes.
Nobody gives a shit about who's driving that car. It's just that Miku.
Car is sentient.
Yes.
There was a
her
cool
space.
fact about one of the drivers of that car. I don't remember.
Were these the guys with the hair?
These were not the guys with the hair.
Okay.
The commentators commented at one point that a pair of drivers looked like a Japanese boy band because of their hair.
Okay.
Not these guys, though. Yeah, he used to do some sort of illegal shit. I should look him up after this.
Engaged.
So yeah, one of the Miku drivers seems like a cool guy, and the other one seems like he's also good. This race is only 55 laps. Hatsune Miku finally pits lap 33 and cycles out into P2. So, looking pretty good, although they didn't get new tires. So Miku's trying to do this entire race on a single set of tires.
Wow.
Which seems like a questionable choice, but they looked at the tires, decided they were fine, and since they're back out, they had to do a driver change, because you have to switch drivers at least once. And then they also had to refuel. Car ahead of Miku pits, and she's back into P1. So, I'm pretty stoked at this point. And then the car in P2 eventually catches up to Miku, and it's several laps of hard fighting between these two. And it's clear Miku's tires are starting to go off, because like a train is starting to form behind her of like cars that just like kind of keep catching up to this pack. It's like, this is getting a bit rough. So like a Lexus gets up to P3, or the Lexus in P3 catches up to them and then takes P2 away from the GT86 that was behind Miku. So it's like, oh, this is kind of nice. Gave a little bit of breathing room to Miku, but then they're just back on her again after that. And eventually, like, cars keep catching up, and it's a 5-way fight for the lead of this race.
Damn.
It's Miku, a Lexus, a BRZ, and then 2 GT86s.
And then basically the same.
It's the same car.
I think the BRZ's got a boxer engine in it.
Do you know what that means?
So the BRZ has like a WRC engine in it.
Okay.
All right.
Boxer engines means the pistons do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is what those cars come with. Like, it's just...
Okay.
The pistons like punch out sideways.
Yeah, it's not a V.
It is definitely a different engine than it is in the GT86s.
Okay.
Interesting. Did not know that.
Okay. I'm tracking.
Yeah, so pretty much the rules for GT300 is you can put any engine that the company makes in the car.
All right.
Which is why the Priuses are running Toyota LMP1 engines. Sorry, Prii. Lap 42, the Lexus finally takes the lead off Miku, and her tires just seem completely done. 7 laps remaining now. Miku's still in P2, and there's a 2.5 second gap between P2 and P9.
This seems like good racing.
It is really good racing. Miku's defending hard, clearly the slower car, but making it really, really hard to pass. Eventually, 5 laps left, the BRZ gets past her, and then she loses another position, and another, and eventually Miku finishes the race P8. So, that was a bit sad. And they focused on the GT300 for a lot of this race, because it was just 2.5 seconds between like the top 10 basically there. So it was really exciting. GT500s, Jenson Button finished P2, Nick Cassidy P3, Yan P4.
Nice.
And the red car that started P15 up to P6 at the end.
Wow.
Sorry.
Who said they weren't going to cough? Now look what he's doing.
He's been struggle busting for like the past 2 or 3 minutes. I've been seeing it in his face.
Apologies for cough. So really good recovery from the red car.
Really good recovery from yourself.
And the special prize for this race was a weird ass, like giant stuffed hedgehog / stegosaurus monster thing. Yeah, it was
Japan.
horrifying. Commentators really off guard by this thing. It was like
they were being presented this stuffed animal by a larger version of this stuffed animal being worn by a person.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Japan seems awesome.
Yeah, I highly recommend if you don't want to be bothered with actually watching these races, which you should because they're great, you should watch the podium ceremonies from Super GT because they're amazing every time. I posted 2 brief clips on the Facebook page today, so I'd recommend checking those out. Both of them are fantastic. Next race isn't until July 1st, so long way off. And that race is actually in Thailand.
It sounds like you need a break from talking.
Shortly, yes.
Why was one of those races more than 100 laps? And the other one, only 55 laps.
Sometimes Japan be crazy.
Okay.
Last year, Suzuka was 1,000 kilometers.
Kilometers. How many is that in American?
A bunch.
Dope.
Let's say 3,000. No, wait, reverse that. Let's
Yeah.
say 700 miles.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's a lot.
5 kilometers is 3 miles, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Thailand is the only race that takes place outside of Japan, and some of the poorer teams don't show up to it.
Yeah, it
because
turns out shipping stuff is expensive, especially vehicles.
Yep.
And all of the things that have to go with them.
Like
As we've-
toolboxes.
Yeah. And people.
Yeah, people.
And garages. And the second cars. And the third and fourth cars.
Man, also pit stops in Super GT are awesome because it's just like
Because it has refueling?
And jumping over cars.
so jumping over cars is more Super Formula than
Okay.
Super GT. But
Somersaults then. Ninja rolls.
so they can't change tires while they're refueling. So normally what they'll do is come in, replace 2 tires, start refueling, do the driver change if they're going to, and then put on another set of tires. So the tire man has to like sit there and wait for the refueling to stop, and he's basically just sitting on top of the new tire, like legs really spread out, and then he like takes that tire off, just kind of throws it to the side and pulls the other one like out from under
underneath
himself.
Neat.
And it's cool looking. So let me mention the standings real quick because they're pretty tight. I honestly have no idea how the points work out. I think first place is 23 points in a race. So we're 3 races in right now. Jenson Button is leading GT500. 1 point behind him is the red car, and in third place is Nick Cassidy, and he's 6 points down on Jenson. And Yan is
The man.
all the way back down in 10th, and he's 19 points down on the leader. Over in GT300, the Up Garage GT86, who won the first race of the season and has a really cool livery, is leading. The D Station Porsche is in 5th, and they're 5 points down on the leader. And Miku's back in 10th, 13 points down on the leader. So, Miku not looking fantastic so far.
It's still early in the season,
It's
right?
early in the season. Strategies kind of not worked out for them in both of these last 2 races. And they're going to have lighter ballast than a lot of their competitors now because they're further down. So, should be able to make up some of this deficit. But, yeah, I was didn't love the Fuji race, but Suzuka was great. And also the podium ceremony in Suzuka was fucking phenomenal.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. Fantastic. Also, all of these races are just up in their entirety on YouTube under...
I need to actually take the time to watch one of these races.
you should.
Like, I really should. Like, you make them sound fantastic. I love sports car racing.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds kind of also like endurance racing, like, without having to, like, watch TV for 24 hours.
Yeah, sometimes it's endurance and sometimes it's not.
Shit be crazy, man. It's Japan. It's Japan.
Yeah, but they're just on YouTube in their entirety under Nismo TV puts them up. Also, the commentators are great. Like,
Yeah.
at one point when they were handing out the weird stuffed animal prize, he's just like, man, I don't know what I'm looking at right now. This feels like I'm on some sort of substance. Like, is this real? It's like, yeah,
That's pretty
this
good.
is great.
That's pretty good.
But that's the Super GT minute.
So, that's a little bit more than a minute. But, yeah. Do we have race times for Monaco next weekend?
Stand by.
We can soon. Yeah, I guess. Boy, Monaco just kind of...
Well, practice is in like 54 hours from now.
Yeah, practice is on Thursday in Monaco.
So,
yeah, like
Because of the...
they're not just like Thursday because that's how the time zone works. Like they're Thursday because we have to be open on Friday for stuff.
Yep. So, Central Times, free practice 1 is at 4 a.m. on Thursday. Free practice 2, 8 a.m. And then free practice 3, Saturday, 5 a.m. qualifying at 8 a.m. and the race is Sunday at 8:10.
Nice,
So,
very reasonable.
pretty
time.
8:10 a.m.
8:10 a.m.
Well, I got some bad news. It's here in America. It's Memorial Weekend, so
Why is that bad news?
I'm not going to be able to watch the race
Why?
because I'm going to be down at the lake house,
Boo.
and we don't have television down there.
You've got your phone
Yeah.
always.
I don't get cell reception at the lake house.
Why don't you just not go to the lake house? What's more important, your wife or your cars?
Well, they're not my cars, but also my wife. My wife.
My wife.
My wife.
My cars.
So yeah, I'll be down doing that, trying to get caught up on the race whenever I come back. We're recording on Monday
Again.
again next week, so hopefully I'll have had the race watched by then. So, you know.
Yep.
Monaco sucks.
I hear Monaco sucks.
It's qualifying's good.
Qualifying is good. It's got a bumpy bit.
Yeah.
It turns out it's streets and really old streets.
Very narrow streets. It's a very, very tight course
It's in a city.
in a very small city.
Yes,
In
it's
a very
like a
small
tax
country.
haven for rich people
Yep.
where they take their boats and their Formula One cars.
Yep.
I'm actually kind of looking forward to it.
I am also looking forward to it.
Debut of the Hypersofts.
Oh, yeah.
Hype.
Yep.
Do we have any project car updates? Devin, have you worked on the Porsche yet?
I'm going to buy a battery.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yep.
Jeff, have you ordered spark plug wires yet? Or did you have to fix your AC, buddy?
Yeah, I'm going to fix my AC.
Oh.
I'm sorry, buddy.
My fun money keeps getting hemorrhaged with responsibilities.
I'm going to start
It's
calling
awful.
you Daniel if that Viper doesn't start running here pretty quick.
That's why
I mean,
you...
I've had that car substantially shorter amount of time than he's had his car.
Yeah, but I would go with Daniel's driven his car more than you've driven the Viper.
He has.
So, yeah, that's a real bummer that adult things keep happening to you.
Yeah.
I have not touched the Porsche because I'm waiting on you guys to put some money into it. But I drove my Bronco.
Yeah? How's that?
It's really good.
Oh.
It's really good. Broncos, man, they're dope. And the top comes off. I also found out that I shouldn't have been driving it. It's black tagged.
Breaking the law. Breaking the law.
Which I don't know if like other states have black tags, but like
Presumably.
it just means that like, hey, you're putting a hold on your tag because the vehicle's not drivable.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that, and I was just cruising around anyway. So yeah, that's the thing. I was actually just looking at Broncos on my phone on that Facebook Marketplace. One came up.
Why?
Because Facebook tells me when other Broncos come up for sale.
Facebook also
Why
sucks.
do you look at them?
He
Because
has a problem.
I need parts.
So you're just going to buy
Parts.
another one?
Yes, for parts.
Parts.
I don't have a parts Bronco.
Please stop popping those peas.
I can't do it. I was trying to do it. I can't
You were
do it.
popping those fucking peas.
I'm popping
like
the peas.
Nothing else.
Pop.
This fucking pop filter's not stopping it.
Gotta
Stop.
Podcast.
popping the peas for all the Broncos, all the bees. You feel me? Feel?
Ciao.
You gotta pop all those peas, son. Devin's staring a hole through the side of my head. But no, man, like there's a 96 up that's like the
What year's-
same.
What year's
Mine's a
yours?
92.
Oh.
But a 96 has mass airflow, not map sensor, and it has OBD2, and it's the same color as mine, like the same color scheme, and it's also still an Eddie Bauer.
Why don't you just buy that one and throw yours
Because that
in
one's
the
like
trash?
$6,000 and has 250,000 miles on it.
Why are you looking at it then?
I mean, I need that spare tire carrier. I don't have one.
Ugh.
Go find this truck and take it from him.
I can't.
What if I drove to your house and stole your Bronco? I'm not actually going to steal the Bronco. But yeah, hopefully at some point we get some Porsche work done.
Yes, I'm about to move in with the Porsche, so I'll be there.
Just live in the Porsche. It's
Yep.
got no interior, so you can put.
Also,
mattress
you
in
better
it.
hope it doesn't rain.
Yep.
So
I could just tape the roof.
Free pool.
it has a bird bath on the backside
That's true.
And inside.
and on the inside. Only the birds can't get to it. So it's really just like a mold
Even
bath
cleaner.
or a mold bath. That's my dog. Yeah, they're fussing because they're ready to go outside, and y'all are fussing because you're ready to be done.
Yes.
So let's end this podcast. Jeff, quit digging with your mic cord.
Sorry, I realized as I was doing it, like the best course of action I could do would just be
Just
to
to quit
stop
dicking
trying
with it?
to
Yeah.
fix
Yep.
it.
Word. All right. Yeah, Monaco next weekend. We'll be back next week to talk about Monaco. So go watch some Super GT.
Yeah.
Guys, where can they find us on all the social medias?
They can find us.
Where?
They know.
It's at Radio Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. They can find us on all the websites. We're not going to name them off.
It's too many to name.
Shop.radiopodcast.com. Buy a t-shirt.
I'm wearing one right now.
Give us a rating and review on iTunes. I haven't asked for those in a while.
Yeah.
I would like to have those
Yes.
to help more people find us.
Yes.
So,
Tell your friends.
and yeah, tell your friends. I mean,
Sharing is caring, guys.
it is. Word.
Yes.
Word. All right, let's shut this thing down. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Monaco sucks. Bye. Hey, where's honey fall on the vegan scale? Have we had this discussion?
It depends on how much of an asshole you are. Like you being the vegan, not you being Jeff.
All right, so how does this work?
I assume the more asshole you are, the less honey you would be tolerating.
Yeah. So, like, I'm not eating honey because why the fuck would I eat honey?
It tastes good.
Because you want to save the bees.
I've literally never bought honey.
I've never paid for honey,
yeah.
but like, it's good. Like
Yeah.
it goes good in tea.
It does.
You know,
It
just
goes good on sopapillas.
sure. But yeah, on the other end of the spectrum, it's just like, yeah, you're exploiting bee labor. And it's like, ah, fuck you.
If nobody consumed it, it would just do nothing.
Tell that to cows.
I'll tell that to cows right now. Cows aren't climbing trees to eat honey. That's bears, you asshole.